All right, everybody. Here we go. I'm here with Jacko Wacko Vegano. Welcome to another episode of the Primal Edge Health Stream here. We got a bunch of people in the chat hanging out, waiting. This is going to be a fun one. We got Bobby's perspective in the chat. What's up, Bobby? Shout out to my friend over there in Macedonia. Jackson, how you doing, man?
I'm alright. I'm pretty average. How you doing?
You know, it's one of those days. There's goods, there's bads, there's things happening, there's things you don't want to happening, but, you know, it
Shit
keeps
happens, doesn't
moving.
it?
Shit does
Yeah.
happen. Shit is constantly happening. And shit sometimes happens when we don't want it to happen, which is kind of why we're talking today. I mean, you seem like somebody who would have never wanted to, maybe be sitting here talking to me. Never probably wanted to have X in front of Vegano in the title of a video, but here we are, man. You're the last person I would have thought would be ex-vegan too.
Bro, I know. I'm as shocked as anyone else. And this is, if I'm honest, this is the last thing that I wanted to see.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted is to not be vegan because I fucking loved that shit.
Right.
I fucking loved living that vegan lifestyle. But it just didn't pan out the way I thought it would. I thought I was going to be vegan for life, son. That's what I thought. But it just didn't go that way.
Yeah, I mean, your channel, your content, you were ripping on ex-vegans for a long time.
Mate, I was going in absolutely savage on people.
Yeah.
And it was fun. Don't get me wrong. I found that shit funny, and a lot of people found that shit funny.
I thought it was funny. I was like
Yeah,
very vehemently against the vegan diet for a long time, and you look, if it's working for you, all good. But
yeah,
I
for
thought your
sure.
videos were good, man. There was a charm to it. It was a little different than some of the other stuff that was out there.
Yeah, yeah, man. I tried to keep it original because there's a lot of the same shit out there. Obviously, I had certain inspirations like vegan gains and whatnot, but put my own little twist on it, and fucking went in hard.
Some people are telling me that your audio's a little low, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn up Jackson's audio a little bit, and you guys tell me if it becomes even now. Sorry,
How's
man.
it sounding?
Sounds
How's
good
it
to
sounding, people?
you guys. Is that a little bit better? I turned myself down and I
Is that
turned
better?
Jackson up.
Can you hear me? Everybody hear me?
There's a little latency on the chat. I just realized that I forgot to set low latency or very low latency, so the chat's going to be a little behind. Let us know how it is. I think it should be better. They're saying turn it up again. They always say turn it up though. Let me try again. So yeah, man, you
Just
never
can't
would have
believe it,
thought
mate.
you were vegan for how long? How long were you in on this?
I was vegan for approximately 5 years. I don't know the exact anniversary, but yeah, it was about 5 years.
Yeah,
Long time, man. Well, I think so, anyway.
5 years. So this was what 2013.
Yeah, something like that. I went vegan, I think, when I was like 22,
Yeah,
27 now. So yeah, long time ago, man. I was still young. I still didn't have a clue what I was doing with my life.
yeah. I mean, you almost seem like you have a little bit of remorse about it though. It's like you seem a little bit conflicted still, right? I guess you're still kind of in between worlds, huh?
Of course, I'm still unsure with myself.
Hmm.
Um, like, it's quite a drastic decision uh, to become an ex-vegan in a sense. But I do believe I've made the right decision, especially from a nutritional perspective.
Mhm.
But I've got a lot to learn, man. I've got a lot to learn nutritionally, and still need to. There's a lot of shit I want to experiment on myself in regards to what works best for my body. And I'm just focusing on my mental health at the moment. I need to be sharp. I need to get my mind back, man. I just felt like I've
Mm.
lost my mind in the last year or so.
Yeah, that seemed to be the theme of the last couple of videos that you put out. I mean, that first one that you put out, the ex-vegan kind of coming out video. Some people thought it was a troll, but I could tell,
Yeah,
30 seconds in, I could tell that you were for real. I mean, it was a pretty raw video.
yeah. I mean, even people watched the whole video, and I was like, "Nah, I don't believe it." It's like I literally just told you I had a mental breakdown, and you still think I'm joking. What's wrong with you?
So
So
how
yeah,
did
no, it was legit.
how did that start? I mean, you're 5 years vegan. Maybe let's start from the beginning and kind of get the genesis story of how you got interested in veganism initially in 2013, 14.
Um, so I initially became interested in veganism from the great Gary Yourofsky. I looked at that geezer like I looked at that guy like he was a god, like he was. Like, I was obsessed with this man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I looked at him like a role model. Like, I would have paid money to meet this fella just to shake his hand.
Yeah.
And I think what turned me vegan was what turned a lot of people vegan, and was his famous speech that he did at the university,
Okay.
that lecture. And it just inspired me, man. And, I'd never looked at nutrition before. I'd never looked at how food was made and where it came from. So when I see that, I was like, what the fuck? And I saw it as like, people have been, I've been lied to my whole life in a sense.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't initially go vegan. The reason I didn't initially go vegan is because veganism was, a bit of a joke.
Mm-hmm.
You get the piss taken out of you if you're vegan, especially 5 years ago. I mean, it's come a long way in the last 5 years. So I never actually went vegan straight away because I cared what people thought. Like, I thought, oh, my mates are going to take the piss out of me and all this shit. And then, I kept watching documentaries and slaughterhouse footage, and I thought, I'm going fucking vegan, son. And I just went vegan. Yeah, I just fucking went for it.
So it was the emotional aspect of the slaughterhouse footage and kind of the visceral message, or what was it about Yorovsky's message and the stimulus that you were receiving?
I would say initially it was the health, because what Gary Yorovsky said is meat gives you cancer, meat gives you strokes, meat gives you diabetes, dairy fucking basically kills you.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit, what am I doing? Like, this shit is fucking killing me. I don't want to die. Like, we're being lied to and all this crap. So initially it was the health. So I went in it from, wow, man, we shouldn't be eating this stuff. This is dangerous for human health. And then I think, like most people, you then start incorporating the ethical side of things. And that then became my main focus. And then my main message was, fuck your health. We're doing this shit for the animals.
How long did it take to get there, man? Because that's when I caught up with you, when I first saw it, it was, to be honest, when I saw your channel at first, I was like, oh, this guy actually seems like he's got a sense of humor. He must not have been doing veganism for that long. That was my initial.
Yeah.
Like, he still has somewhat of, like, a sense of humor, and I could resonate. He's got this funniness, and I almost like the vibe. He must be a new vegan. And, I didn't dig too much deeper into it until recently when you came out as an ex-vegan. And but man, 5 years, that's a long time. You started out, I'm doing this for my health. But isn't Gary Yorovsky's message like kind of animal rights? Isn't it more animal rights aligned?
It is. And even himself, he said later on after that, he said he wishes he made that speech more about ethics, because he does actually talk quite a lot about from the health perspective in that particular speech. And he even said after that, I wish I didn't even talk about health, because he thinks if you only focus on your health, then that makes you selfish.
Yeah.
That was his message. So it doesn't matter. Fuck your health. Fuck everything.
That's the vibe I get from Yorovsky, right? Fuck everything. It's just
yeah. And I like the geezer, and the reason I liked him so much is because I resonated with him in a sense, because he just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He'd just be like, "Fuck you, you're a prick. Fuck you, you're a murderer." He fucking neglected all his family.
He shot from the hip, right? It was very emotional, real visceral.
Very emotional, and he said a lot of crazy things. Like, I think he did take this back, but he said shit like people that rape cows should be raped, people that kill animals should be killed, shit like that. And very militant, the most militant vegan out there. And I loved that shit at first.
Yeah, it's funny. And when did it become about the animals rather than about the health? At what point did you say, okay, fuck the health, this is only about the animals, this is about protecting them?
I would say quite quickly, to be honest, because once I saw Gary Yorovsky, that's when I dived in deep to the rest of YouTube. That's when I came across Freely and Durian Rider, all them fucking nutters.
This is like, those articles they put out, like the New York Times put out this really funny article the other day, and it's like, oh, how I was radicalized online. And it was basically just some kid who watched like Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson. They tried to say he became a radical. But this is like the how I became radicalized as a vegan handbook. Gary Yorovsky, then Freely, Durian Rider, and it clicked, huh? Was it the confidence of the message that these people were relaying, or what was it about their delivery?
it was the confidence. Like, you look at these people, like, wow, they know what they're fucking talking about. Like, Freely would things that I remember. Freely would say things like, you can't be protein deficient. There's no study ever, or no medical proof that no one's ever been protein deficient. And then, that becomes one of your main arguments, is protein though, and all this.
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, and they said some crazy shit. They were eating like 30 bananas a day, and people latched onto that shit because
yeah.
she looked good at one point. She did look good at one point.
At one point,
Or,
right? Yeah, yeah. What?
yeah, at
But now,
one
now
point,
you look
yeah,
back and Durian's talked about Botox, and you're like, oh yeah,
yeah,
those are fake titties, and it kind of
yeah,
becomes a little bit murky whether she actually
yeah.
would have looked that good
And
without
she
makeup and whatnot
exactly,
too.
yeah. And you look at her now, and she does seem a bit of a mess. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, I mean it's really appalling. I mean, you're a father, right?
Yes, I am. Which is another big reason why I broke veganism. It was
Yeah,
in regards to my son. Like, I'm annoyed at myself for ever even thinking that I could make my son vegan. Like, I
mm,
just looking back, like, what is wrong with me? Like, what the fuck was I thinking, trying to make my son vegan at such a young, crucial age? And I am thankful that I don't think any damage has been done, in a
yeah,
sense. Like, I was a little bit paranoid. I was looking at his physique, like, does he look malnourished? But my mum assured me she'd be the first person to say if she
yeah,
thought anything was wrong with him. But so I think he's sound, and he was born. He wasn't born vegan. He was raised meat, cheese, milk, and eggs. He was breastfed,
yeah,
all that good stuff. So I'm thankful for that.
yeah. And your wife, she's vegan, or your girlfriend? Sorry.
My girlfriend, yeah, my girlfriend is still vegan. Yes, she's still an ethical vegan,
Yeah.
and we get on like a house on fire. There's a lot of people out there that think it can't work and it shouldn't work, and she
Yeah.
should break up with me. But
People made videos about that, dude. Like people who don't even know you made videos about that shit. I'm sure you
I
saw
know.
that, right? Let me.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
There's a geezer called there's a geezer called Isel.
Yep.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, no, that guy. I tried to get him to come on my show, and then he was like,
Okay.
he was like, debate Isaac and vegan gains, and I'm just like, dude, fuck off, and go debate these robots. I want you on my show, and he's the
Yeah.
one. It wouldn't have happened if he hadn't tagged me, vegan gains, and ask yourself. So for those of you who loved that stream, it wouldn't have happened without Isel Mazard. So shout out to Isel. You're still invited on the stream, you weirdo.
So yeah, he's literally in the past month he's made 12 videos on me, and a
Kind
lot
of
of them
creepy.
videos. I know a lot of them videos include my girlfriend. Right, my girlfriend's not on YouTube or anything.
He
He's
puts her in the
putting pictures of my
thumbnail,
girl.
dude. He puts it in the thumbnail and then puts like a crack between you and is like, they're
Yeah,
breaking up.
yeah.
That's
He's putting
ridiculous.
videos. Yeah, he's putting pictures up of my girlfriend on his. Like, he's mad, and my girlfriend's like, "What the fuck? This guy needs to get a fucking grip." This guy. And he's like sending her direct messages on Instagram and stuff. Like,
Dude, that's
basically,
that's so him. I've
I
followed
know.
this guy for a few years since his because I've kind of been monitoring the vegan community I've had a close pulse on the or
Of
close monitor on the
course.
pulse of the vegan community since 2009, 2010 when I
Yeah.
started getting into YouTube and interested in diet nutrition. So naturally, Durian Ryder's been on the radar. I've been following the guy for a long time, and Eisel and him had a big thing a few years
Yeah, I remember that.
back. So that's what put Eisel on the map for me. And but he's done this to other people too. He's like DM'd people's girlfriends and tried to get them to break up with them and shit.
It's
It's
so weird.
really
Like, it's
weird.
so yeah. And when he DM'd her, there's no context. He doesn't say, "Oh, hello, how you doing?" He'll just put some random message, just trying to persuade her to leave me,
Like, here's a
basically.
little thought. Let me plant this thought in your mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What a
I was just
sleaze,
like,
man. What a sleaze.
yeah, he's a creep. He's a creep.
Imagine like in the real world, in your actual life. How many people do
Yeah.
you deal with that are actually going to do shit like that? As an adult, you're not in a
So
elementary school situation. You never have to deal with people like this, except on the internet.
no, not at all. Like, I've got a lot of close friends, and I was not as I was like on YouTube in like a fucking aggressive, sweary manner towards them, but I would always defend veganism, to the fucking core. I wouldn't let any person talk shit about veganism,
Yeah.
even my close friends. And I've had rows with friends. I've had rows with family over it. And I told them that I was breaking veganism, and they were like, "Mate, we don't give a fuck. As long as you're healthy, we couldn't give two
All right, some are
fucks."
probably like, cool. I don't want to hear about it
Yeah,
anymore. Like, I don't have
yeah,
to feel
that's real
awkward.
life.
Yeah, we can go
Yeah,
out to
yeah.
dinner, and I don't have to feel awkward when I order and feel like you're judging me or something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's real life. That's real people. These people online are just fucking nuts, half of them.
Dude, all right, check it out. Elizabeth Moore in the chat says Eisel said your girlfriend reached out to him and is struggling with you not being vegan. I don't know if that's true, but that's what apparently he's telling people that your girlfriend is confiding in him. He's planting these.
This, yeah, this is evidence. This is proof that he's fucking insane. Like that is
Oh man!
insane.
And to think that,
She
imagine being like a woman and some dudes doing this to you. Like women have been dealing with these kind of fellas their whole freaking life since they're little kids. They've been dealing with these sniveling little ankle biters, and the way that this guy's going about it now, it's like your girlfriend doesn't see it.
It's just weird, mate. Like she had to block him because like he was taking screenshots of her pictures and like copying her stories on Instagram. You know, weird shit, man.
It's like photoshopping fake DMs from her and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Oh
mad,
man.
honestly.
He's gonna. I wonder how he'll spin this. Hey, we got a couple super chats. Andy Ganal, thanks for the $2, man. Says Tristan, keep doing what you do, man. Thanks. Right on, man. Thanks a lot. Goji Man and his pal Hench say veganism needs globalism. Treating veganism as a moral obligation is basically saying that anybody who doesn't want to be part of globalism is immoral. Goji Man and his pal Hench, thank you for the donation, man. I get where you're going with that. Very interesting. They're relying on imported foods, processed foods, and I agree. That's definitely counterintuitive if they say they want to save the world. David Tomlinson for €2 says, "Hope you're doing better now, Jacko." Yeah, I would say he looks like he is.
I am, mate. Much better, thank you.
Yeah, that video was heavy, man. Like that first video, you kind of looked like maybe you were getting choked up a little bit in it when you had to admit what's
Bruv,
going on.
bruv, I was, mate. Like the the weeks leading up to that video, I was a fucking state. Like honestly, I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was on a fucking mad one. I was breaking down multiple times a day. I was off work for a month. I was a fucking mess. Like honestly, it was embarrassing. Like
But
I
you're
can't believe what's
smiling
going
about
on.
it, thinking about it. You're laughing about it
Oh
now.
yeah, that's me. That's me all over.
Yeah, yeah. So
Like,
even during it,
yeah,
you're
that's
able
me
to
all
have a
over.
laugh about it.
Oh, 100%. Like, you know, I was at a point where I thought, this is it now. This is my health. I'm just going to be like this forever. I was like, Jesus Christ, what have I done to myself? And obviously, now I've come out of it. In hindsight, I can look back and think, I just need to get a fucking grip. And I'm feeling a lot better, man. Obviously, I'm back at work. My head's a lot straighter. Yeah, mate. It's all gravy.
Cool. And to the audience, let me know how the volume is now. I've cranked his volume up as high as it can go, and if I need to crank mine down, you let me know. Um, so yeah, all right. So it turned from we're going all over the place here because I got a million questions for you, Jackson.
Yeah, go for it.
The turn from veganism for health to veganism for animals ideologically reflected a big turning point for you. But what about as far as the diet? Like when you decided who cares about the health aspect on vegan for the animals and for the principle, how did that affect how you were eating and how you were treating your body and yourself?
Massively. So, I mean, I was vegan 5 years, so I tried a lot of different shit. You know, I tried high fruit. I tried. People say I shot myself in the foot a bit because I said I'm eating fucking fake meat like every day, basically. But I
Yeah.
mean, within them 5 years, I did whole foods, plant-based diet, loads. Not necessarily consistently, um, but that doesn't even matter anyway. The reason I consumed so much fake meat, fake cheese, fake milk is because that's what I wanted. I needed that satiation. Uh, I just felt like I was missing something. That's all I craved ever. And my argument was always like I was a massive. I promoted mock meat like
Man.
more than any YouTuber. At one point, my channel was based on mock meat. I was doing loads of reviews and all this shit. So I can understand that I probably fucked my health up a lot eating this fake shit. But at the end of the day, that's what my body was craving in a sense. You know, that's what my body wanted.
It's funny because the vegans are
And
saying like, "Oh, you don't need meat," and by eating this mock meat, you're just teasing the cravings. But
yeah, exactly. And my argument was always, you know, mock meat from a transitional perspective. If we're trying to get off the meat addiction, yeah, that's what I called it. It was an addiction. I
Yep.
said meat was like crack. Yeah. So from a that's what I said, isn't it? And so from a transitional perspective, that's why we consume these mock meats. And this was one of the biggest arguments that people always brought to me. It's like, if you don't want to eat animals, why are you eating fake animals? And my argument was always, it's just for transitioning. No animals are being killed. Why fucking not? And, I was raised eating meat. But the thing is, if it was from a transitional perspective, then why am I still transitioning 5 fucking years later? You know?
Well, it's going to be a few generations till we properly evolve into being herbivores. It takes
Yeah,
time. You got to crack a few eggs if you're going to make a vegan omelet, I guess.
exactly. And because I didn't know much about nutrition, and I even got this from Gary Ofsky, he would say, like, you don't have to miss out on your favorite foods. You can have tofurkey, you can have all this fake shit. But because I knew fuck all about nutrition, I would look at this vegan burger. Oh, that's got 20 grams of protein. This beef
Yeah,
burger's got 20 grams of protein. That's
same thing.
that's shit hot, mate. That's the same thing. What's
Same
the
damn
point in eating
thing, right? It's all
yeah,
good.
the same damn thing? But that's just clearly ridiculous. Like, there's clearly more to nutrition than just the fucking protein.
Well, you know what they're doing now in like Australia and other places? They're rating protein sources and they're factoring in sustainability. So they're saying like, oh look, this is plant based, so it's sustainable. So we give it 2 extra stars as its protein rating, and that brings it higher up on the rating. And it's so absurd because not only is it very misleading as far as, oh, this protein's the same or this plant based protein is better, when that plant based protein is barely digestible and the real meat is just, it just soaks right in. But it's also really misleading as far as, oh, this is a good product. Like, this is sustainable. Check it out. It's plant
Yeah,
based.
yeah,
Yeah, there's 10
yeah,
billion units of these being sold worldwide, and they're all manufactured in China from pieces of food that come from all over the rest of the world, and everything's imported, and exported 3 times before it hits the shelf. So it's,
yeah.
yeah, so I mean, how did you reconcile, like, obviously you see these incongruencies now, but at the time, how did you deal with kind of the nagging voice in the back of your head that must have been saying, like, what's up with all the fake food, dude? You really think this is saving the planet? I mean, how?
You, you know what? It literally never fucking registered. That shit never registered at all. Not even in the slightest. Not until the last few months.
Yeah.
Like, people say to me, how can you go from one extreme to the other in a sense? And the best way I can describe it is I just fucking feel like I snapped out of it in a sense. I feel like I snapped out of something. And now when I look back at all this fake meat eating, I'm like, what are we doing? This is weird. Why are we eating pretend meat when our body is clearly calling out for something, potentially? So I don't know, it
Yeah,
never
you want the
registered. But
fake meat. You want the real meat. I eat the mock
yeah.
meat.
And people will bang on about Whole Foods plant-based diet, right? Until they fucking go blue, which is sound. Some people do stick to that shit. But you watch all these fucking vegan YouTube channels, they're all putting fucking Gardein or Beyond Burgers and everything. Like, this
Yeah.
shit is just
No, and,
mental.
and even the advocates, man. Like I was talking about Dean Orders the other day, and they'd say that he's a whole food plant based diet advocate. And if you look at his recommended foods, the first recommended protein source is egg whites, and then the next recommended protein source is tofu. So I mean, it's like neither of those is plant based and whole foods.
Not at all. Not
Yeah,
even close.
I think you're right, man. These people saying that they're doing a plant-based whole foods diet, they're not even sticking it to it themselves. And we talked to Klaus from Plant-Based News, and he
Yeah,
said that he's eating a lot of mock meats and a lot of fake stuff, and that's why his health isn't as good
yeah,
as it should be. But who
yeah,
isn't? I mean, which one of these
yeah.
people is doing it? Dr. Greger?
Everyone is. Yeah, exactly. I mean, who knows what the fuck he's eating? But I mean, all these big channels, or even the bodybuilders, to get their protein up, their calories up, they're shoving in the Gardein, shoving in the fucking Beyond Burgers. They love that shit, and it fucking tastes good. Believe it or not, I liked it because it
Yeah.
tasted good. Yeah, because it's fucking full of chemicals and fucking
They're
whatnot.
doing their best to make it taste like meat. It almost tastes
Yes.
like meat.
Yeah, and some of it. That's why I reviewed it. I was like, my god, this shit is fucking on another level. And then that was, and that was such a large part of my argument. It's like, and my biggest ethic, right? This is the biggest thing I would ever say, which I thought was the strongest argument, is if it's unnecessary to kill these animals, why do it?
Yeah.
So then that's how my ethics change, is because now I'm thinking this shit is necessary. So therefore,
Yeah.
the ethics of it changes in a sense.
And that's the funny thing. That's the thing with the vegan message. When you look at the definition of veganism, well, what is, as far as in your memory, because I don't have it memorized, what is the definition of veganism from like the Vegan Society or whatever?
It's it's like to do as much as you can as possible in a sense. So to avoid harm, to not exploit animals where as practical and where as possible. So it's not like, they say you can still drive cars and all that shit. Just,
Yeah.
keep it practical, keep it realistic. And, if you don't need to kill an animal, don't fucking kill an animal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what about all the crop tests? I mean, what do you think about the argument that plant-based diets actually end up creating more animal deaths than somebody? Now, I'm never going to say that everybody should do a fully meat diet, but take, for example, the very small percent of the population who does eat an all-meat diet. They might have to kill 1 to 2 animals per year to feed an entire family. Whereas, I mean, just for a hamburger, the amount of wheat or the amount of rodents, insects, small animals being killed, displaced, poisoned, and even shot by these farmers is ridiculous. Like pigeons are getting capped like 100 at a time on these wheat fields before it's ground up. Did you ever hear those arguments before?
Oh, 100%. So I heard them arguments was one of the biggest arguments, and I have touched up on this recently. No, briefly even. But obviously, the arguments was always, what about crop deaths?
Yeah.
And my argument towards that would be intent. Yeah, whether it's intentional or not. So the fact that you kill an animal to eat the animal, that your intent, that's your intention. You intend to kill that animal to consume that animal. But with crop deaths, we put it down, we brushed it off, and we'd say, well, that's unintentional. Yeah, the animals had a chance to run away. The animals had a chance to live their natural lives, and if they got fucking chopped up in a fucking combine harvester, then that's their fault, isn't
Yeah,
it?
who cares, right?
But
Like, as long as you didn't intend to do that. But how,
yeah,
it's funny because
but I mean,
how do you even gauge intent? It's like, you got a kid. You'll see the kid do something, and they did it on purpose, and they're just like, "Oops."
yeah, yeah, whoopsie.
Yeah, how do to really gauge someone's intent, especially as adults when we're so self-deceived as we grow older? Man, I mean, it seems like it's kind of difficult to even say like what somebody intends.
Yeah, so this is my problem is I used to look at veganism as very black and white. Yeah, as very objectively, this is right, you're wrong, right? So now I'm just looking at it like, I'm looking at arguments from both sides. I'm seeing compelling arguments for both sides. So I don't think veganism should be advertised as this fucking superior, like world-saving diet, because
Mm.
I don't think that's what it is anymore. And in regards to the crop deaths, yeah, that shit's fucked up. I mean, from an animal's perspective, I don't know. Like I said, I'm still stuck in the middle, sort of, in
Hmm.
regards to the ethics and that.
Yeah.
When I compare like a rabbit's death from a combine harvester to a cow going through a slaughterhouse, I would say that it's going to be worse for the cow in regards to what it goes through or whatnot, whether you agree with that or not. But
Now, well,
when you
let's
look
pick.
at
Can we pick that apart a little bit? I mean, because as somebody who have been around animals being slaughtered, I live in a place that much of the population of the world, the animals that they're eating, are slaughtered very nearby where they live. Right? I mean,
yeah,
everywhere in Latin America, I mean, the cows, the goats, the sheep, the chicken, they're all being slaughtered within a very close radius to where they live. There's very little transport necessary, and I've not seen cruelty in the slaughter of these animals like a lot of people believe is going on out there. So what about all right? So the footage you saw and your beliefs about cows being slaughtered. What is it that you think is particularly awful about it?
I think the only footage I've probably seen is factory farming, and I think no matter what you're eating, everyone can agree factory farming is fucked up, right? So I do believe that probably all the footage out there that's being shown is probably from factory farms, and some of the footage that hit me emotionally in a sense wasn't even necessarily the killing. It was sort of like the build up to it. When you see the cow clearly scared, clearly not wanting to do what it's being pushed in to do. So yeah, I'd say from that, like, it's as if the cow knows it's about to be murdered. It can like smell blood. This is my argument. It can
Yeah, yeah,
smell
yeah.
blood. It can,
Hmm.
yeah, that sort of shit. It can smell fear in the air. It can hear screams. So that shit. The factory farming, slaughterhouse footage or whatnot. That shit is like a fucking horror movie when you watch that shit. No wonder
Yeah.
it. No wonder people get so emotional and go vegan because it's like watching a real life horror movie. That shit, I don't know. It's just fucked
Well, it's
up.
funny because the same companies that now push veganism, I mean, the big international companies, Tyson Foods, which is a huge investor or was a big investor in Beyond Meat, and they're making their own, new plant-based food, food in quotations, versions of meat. These huge companies that started the factory farming system are the ones who are pushing veganism the hardest too. Like Cargill is the biggest grain producer in the world, or the biggest grain trader in the world. They have like 40% of the world grain market. Cargill, they're one of the biggest processing authorities, or not authorities, but they've consolidated much of the meat processing in the U.S. along with Tyson Foods, and they heavily also push plant-based diets, and they own a lot of patents on GMO seeds and stuff, and they're one of the biggest exporters of these. So it's kind of an interesting nuance when you look at that.
Yeah, I mean, and you've got to look at these big companies. They don't give a fuck about veganism. All
No.
they give a fuck about is
Nor do
the
they give a
money.
fuck
And
about these carnivore diet people either, right? It's like it's about
no,
profit. It's not about, these
yeah,
people
yeah.
couldn't give a shit about ecology, the bigger picture, local communities, local family farms. They don't
They
care
don't,
about that.
yeah, they don't give a fuck about nutrition either. All they give a fuck about, they wouldn't give a fuck if the world went fucking vegan because they
No.
would just put all their money into fucking fake meat. So either
Exactly. It's
way,
patentable, right? The
yeah, they're following the money. They're following the money. Yeah.
It's funny, like you mentioned these cows not wanting to go into the slaughterhouse, but if you try to move a cow to an area that a cow doesn't want to go into, it acts like that no matter what. Like there was
Oh, 100%.
one of our neighbors' calves got into our yard the other day, and it was grazing on our grass that we keep for our cows. I wanted to get rid of it, so I had to chase it around. But they don't want you to get close to them if they don't know
No, of
you, if
course.
they're not trained to
Yeah.
have you close to them, and the way they act when they're in a confined area and you're moving towards them, they jump around, they skip, they'll kick. Like it's just like a
Yeah.
puppy. If you try to trap a little puppy that doesn't know you, it's going to be running
Of course.
away, yapping, biting. So I think
Yeah.
it's definitely
And you,
a visceral and emotional scene when you watch some of the slaughterhouse porn that people like Joey Carbstrong put out there. But you're also being
yeah.
emotionally manipulated to a certain extent too, right?
And I agree. I agree. And it is manipulative because it's not what you're seeing isn't natural. I mean,
Yeah.
if you was just living on a farm with your local family, you just had one cow,
Yeah.
and you would just take the cow off and fucking, I don't know, shoot it in the head or whatever you do.
Yeah,
That's
they've got
more.
these little bolt things. They throw a bolt through the brain, and then they cut the throat, and they bleed out.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously these fucking factory farm, sorry, these slaughterhouses. It's just not a natural way of looking at how death really is, and I can understand why it's fucked up and how it
Yeah.
looks fucked up. But I've been looking at footage of crop deaths. So I've seen footage of organic farming,
Yeah.
right? And they set all these fucking dogs on hundreds of rats.
Yeah.
Like there's hundreds of rats, and they're fucking. You've probably seen it. I think it's that Garland Farm geezer.
Yeah.
He put, yeah, and these fucking dogs are ripping into these rats like there's fucking no tomorrow. And that shit resonates with me. I've had fucking pet rats before, so
Oh
like
yeah.
that shit's fucked up as well. So the way I look at it, right, is you got fucked up deaths from the crops, you got fucked up deaths from the slaughterhouses. But when you balance it out with what is more nutritionally superior for human health,
Yeah.
what really should we be backing? Is, I would say, more animal products.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't even call them products anymore. I've been kind of trying to beat on the term animal foods, right? It's like, products are
Yeah.
Tyson food shit, right? Products are
Mhm.
chicken McNuggets. Products are Beyond Burgers. And
Yeah.
animal foods, it's like we should be trying to source these as well as we can from local communities. Shoot, I would love, and this is the reason we do what we're doing as well and promote the stuff that we promote. I'd like to see more people getting involved in the making of their food too. We're like, yeah, the food system's fucked up. Whether it's animals or plants, we've got genetically modified organisms that are being patented by massive multinational corporations who are putting freaking fish genes in tomatoes and telling you it's
Yeah.
safe because rats don't die 5 minutes after they eat it. They must be safe. Or it's like generational studies done in the Soviet Union on some of these seeds back in the day were showing that these rats were becoming sterile within 2 to 3 generations. They were growing hair on their tongue and getting deformities. The testicles were turning purple in the males. There is a lot of research showing that these transgenic organisms and the pesticides used on them are totally detrimental to our health. So it's not.
100%.
These people don't care, and they've destroyed both the animal food industry and the small family plant food production industry. So I think it's if we actually were to come together and look at the real big picture, and people were honest with themselves, and there wasn't this propaganda campaign going on to galvanize us against each other and have us fighting over stupid diet bullshit, the people could actually take a honest look at it at the food production and hopefully get involved themselves.
100%, man. 100%. I agree. And vegans, these some vegans anyway, are making it harder for people to become, even more harder for people to become vegan because they're pushing this. If you eat organic fruits and vegetables, you're a carnist bollocks. Have you heard that?
Yes, it's a terrible
So
argument, right? Organic
I
sucks.
know it's like, do you
What?
want people to go vegan or fucking not? Like, could you imagine trying to promote veganism? Oh yeah, by the way, organic fruit and vegetables, nah. Could
They're
you
worse.
imagine?
They're
Like,
worse
so
because
I can't.
because cow poop is still on some of them. That's
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
Are you
yeah,
kidding
exactly.
me?
But they use that shit on, conventional and organic, and it's like, yeah, way to go trying to fucking promote veganism, telling people they can't eat fruits and vegetables. That's fucking gonna go down a treat.
Well, you know what? I would almost say that a lot of these people doing mock meats and at least doing like a processed vegan diet, they seem to last a little longer than these people who try straight up whole foods plant based. What do you
You
think
know
about
what?
that?
I was gonna say the exact same thing. Like people were saying to me, like you should have stuck to a whole foods plant-based diet. But I don't know. I feel like the chemicals, and the fat, and the salt, and the shit in these burgers just kept me fucking alive even longer. And 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 I think that's why I didn't deteriorate as much as maybe some other vegans. Like I got some blood tests. I didn't really see any issues. My test was a little bit low. I didn't get everything checked, but so some people definitely are a lot worse off, and I'm fucking putting that down to all the mock meat, mate.
Yeah, so mock meat saved his veganity.
That's it, mate.
It kept his veganity because of of mock meat.
That's
Um,
it.
Man, all right. So speaking of mocking, you were really mocking a lot of these ex-vegans for a long time, and and I know, and the chickens came home to roost, didn't they? Here you are on Primal Edge House Stream talking to Bald Man Bad after mocking all these ex-vegans. What was it that made you want to mock these ex-vegans, and how did you get started, and why did you find it so fun to dig in on the ex-vegan thing?
It's a great question. I mean, when I started off my channel, I just did like food reviews and I just did the boring videos just talking about why we should be vegan and why vegetarians are bad. And there wasn't that much humor in it, just my normal personality. And then it just evolved naturally. It organically evolved into I started doing response videos. I think the first ever one, the proper one I did, was against Roaming Millennial, and the humor just came out naturally, and people fucking lapped that shit up.
Hmm.
Yeah, people fucking loved that shit. So there I am calling people cunts and just fucking mugging them right off, right? And I like it was fun. Like I had people praising me, like you're fucking hilarious. And the biggest thing that I had from viewers, subscribers, people would always say, what I love about your channel is, veganism is miserable. People would say veganism is miserable. It's just
Mm.
about animal slaughter, animal death. And, you just come in with your humor and you make us smile. So, that shit resonated with me and I just fucking went harder and harder. And then, it just evolved naturally. I enjoyed doing it because I enjoyed the praise I would get from people.
Yeah.
And the way I looked at it, right, is I felt like it was okay for me to be that savage because I was so sure what I was doing was right. you know, them three famous words for the animals, right? You can do. I feel like you can get away with anything when you say for the animals. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, you could punch someone in the fucking mouth and quickly say it's for the animals, and you get away with it. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's all it is.
So you mentioned like the feedback you were getting that it kept on. It was kind of puffing you up a little bit. That it maybe.
Oh, 100%. Like, and I said that in my video. Is I think nearer the end, I was more driven just by like the humor. I love doing funny videos. I love winding people up in a sense, and I was more interested in making the videos, taking the piss out of people, having fun, getting a good reaction, other than actually promoting veganism. Really, I think that's what it came down to in the end.
How much did you really care about veganism for like the last 6 months or so of the channel? How much? I mean, I know it's hard to quantify, but how deep into it were you still, as far as like your heart?
I still, I think in the last 6 months, yeah. So I'd say the last 6 months, I started. Is it too dark in here, or should I turn the light on?
Yeah, you could throw a light on, I guess. It's getting a little dark. You've got the sun setting
One
behind
sec.
you. It's crazy, guys. Over there in the UK, it's 10 o'clock and the sun's just setting. Um, there you go. Hey, you got a bike in the background. You're still half vegan.
How's that?
That's
Oh,
good,
that's
man.
even worse. Hold on. Is that all right?
Oh, well, once you come out, you're not in the light now. You
Hold
got a
on.
light in front of you? That should be better.
Sorry, it's a proper shit camera.
We're good, man.
So what was we saying?
All right, we're good. What we were talking about, I mean, how deep were you still into it ideologically and as far as like in your core? How much did you still buy into it during this period where, because your channel did see rapid growth?
It did, and I broke veganism right at the point when my channel was finally getting some sort of recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it was the last thing I wanted to do. But in regards to how much I believed in veganism, I'd say in the last, 4 to 6 months, I started having these niggles. Yeah. Like these thoughts in the back of my head,
Yeah.
especially when I was experiencing minor health issues. I was thinking about my son, and, I fought it. So what I did is I forced myself to watch animal slaughter. Like, I know that sounds fucked up,
Yeah.
but I would sit there, watch an hour and a half documentary. It's called Dominion, right?
Yeah.
And just sit there watching animals getting fucking, murdered,
Right.
just to try and flip the switch back on, because I was scared that the passion was going. I was scared that the belief system was leaving, and I was fucking watching animals being killed just to try and persuade myself that what I was doing was right, in a sense.
Wow.
And then, of course, because my reaction videos were against ex-vegans, I'm listening to these excuses over and over again, especially when I'm editing the videos. So shit starts resonating, shit starts getting in my head, and yeah,
Oh man.
next thing you know,
So you were
yeah, it's
conflicted for a
crazy.
little while. You were feeling that conflict, and you willingly kind of said, "No, shut the fuck up." Smash that back down.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
views.
yeah.
I'm getting views now.
Yeah, 100%. Like 100%. Even my Instagram started picking up and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Joey Carbstrong was my best mate on Instagram. He was
Yeah.
DMing me and
Right,
stuff.
all the heroes are
And
rallying around.
yeah, and the people were messaging me like, "Bruv, you're the truth." I'm like, "I'm the truth." Like, I'm
Yes.
fucking laughing at.
And these are your kind of
And
your idols in a certain way too, right? I mean, guys like Joey Carbstrong, a lot of people look up to him. They think he's a powerful activist.
100%. Like, he's at the top of his game in regards to animal rights activism. People look up to him like he's fucking, you know, Jesus or whatever.
You mean
And
Earthling Ed?
yeah, well, Earthling Ed, yeah, it's Jesus.
Shall
Yeah,
not
fucking
take
hell.
Earthling Ed's name in vain. Yeah, no, these guys, it's really amazing how much positive feedback and how much like basically the people's pride gets puffed up in these movements. And it's a flash in the
100%.
pan, right? It's like you see it now, like how temporary it really was. But some of these guys are in the
Yeah.
middle of that. They're kind of in the heat of it, in the heat of the battle for years. I mean, Carb Strong, he's had a good couple years of being the guy, right? Being the
Yeah.
he's the vegan who's always on TV. He's getting Piers Morgan's interviewing him. He's getting all kinds of
Yeah.
exposure. You got
Yeah.
James Aspie, like he's the vegan who can still be like semi good looking. It's like, look at me, I'm like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of chill, I'm like pretty chilled out, dude. I'm vegan,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. It's for the animals or
Yeah.
whatever, dude. Just smoke some bong legs and go surfing, mate. It's like these
Yeah.
these
That's it.
guys, they're worshipped. People love them,
Yeah.
and you got a
I agree.
taste. You got a taste of that life, man.
I got a taste of it, and my channel was only gonna get bigger if I carried on doing what I was doing. And you know what? Because I can't be fake. I can't just keep pushing and pushing and pretending and pretending. It
Yeah.
got to a stage like this got to stop, man. This is dishonest. I'm not into this like I was, and I need to. I've got to be honest, man. And I think I think it was lots of different factors, but the reason for my breakdown is like, I was 5 year hardcore militant vegan, yeah, like falling out of family, falling out of friends. Like
Yeah.
I thought I was right about everything, and then next thing you know, my mind snaps and I'm having second thoughts. And then I'm fucking thinking about what reaction I'm gonna get, like what's going on. And I think, what's fucking going on? I've got my girlfriend who's vegan, and then my mind snapped, end up having a fucking mental breakdown, and like fuck knows what happened from there.
Dude, it's so, to me, this is why you're one of my favorite ex-vegans of all time. And I'm not just saying that to toot your horn. It's like this, we got to see somebody finally be honest about how social media, YouTube, and e-celeb status affected them
Yeah,
psychologically. And no, none of these other people in the vegan movement will be halfway honest about this.
no,
It's really sad, but I'm so appreciative that you talked about it, because this is what fascinated me the most about your story. Is that you talked about this. You talked about how it got to your head, how it got into your soul and kind of stole a piece of you, and you were constantly, battling this part of your conscience that was at odds with what you were actually doing. And to me, I see this happening in all the vegans, but you're the only one who fucking talked about it.
yeah, and I just had to say it. Like a part of my process of recovering was just having to just fucking tell the truth and be honest, because anything that I was holding in was just making me worse. And it's and talking about it really was therapeutic in a sense. And I do feel like on my first video, I got quite a lot of slack from vegans, and they cut me a lot of slack because of my mental health issues. And they was also convinced that I'll be coming back to veganism. I got so many messages from people saying, "Don't worry, Jacko, get your health back. I'm convinced you'll be back to veganism."
Yeah,
and
take
all
a
this
break,
shit.
sit on the sidelines for a bit. We know you'll be
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
The
yeah,
coach will
yeah,
pull you back in. Coach Carb Strong will call
yeah,
you back in the fourth quarter.
yeah. That's it. And in a sense, that sort of made things worse
Yeah.
because I wanted to please my subscribers, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I had this hero status. Anyone talk bad on veganism, I'm gonna fucking cut you down,
Yeah,
son.
yeah.
Right?
You're on the
And
front lines,
with
man. And it was at a
that's it.
time that was so crucial, right? There was
Very crucial.
veganism on YouTube was crumbling at the time, whether people would admit
Yeah.
it or not. The big names
Yeah.
were falling.
Mhm. Yeah, man. It was kicking off, and it was at that time where who was it? Rawvana, is it? Is her name Rawvana?
She was one of them.
And yeah, and the other bird, the fucking blonde bird, Elise, whatever
Raw
her name is.
alignment.
So
Yeah.
yeah, Raw Alignment. Yeah, their videos came out, and people kept messaging me like, "Why have you not responded to them? Why have you not responded to them?" And the reason I hadn't responded to them is because I was having fucking second thoughts myself, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "No." Yeah, it's crazy.
So when the facade started to crack, you said you were like manically watching slaughterhouse porn video. I say slaughterhouse porn.
I
That's
know.
kind of the term I use for it. But
No,
yeah,
it's
so
fine. Yeah.
Dominion.
Stop movies.
Yeah, I mean, because it does kind of act like that for vegans. It's like it's desensitizing. It's like this ritualistic intaking. Like we're gonna consume this death, and we're gonna take it into our soul, and it's a really weird thing. But that was the first thing that you decided to do. Did you consciously know that you were battling this, or was it still unconscious at that point?
No, yeah, I was consciously battling it, and I was scared. I was scared that I was surprised as well at myself was like, how am I having these thoughts? This is fucking mental. I'm vegan for the animals, and I'm fucking having second thoughts. So it's like, right, I'm gonna fucking back to back watch Gary Yourofsky videos. You know, that man's my fucking hero, and I'm gonna fucking watch fucking animals get killed and
Yeah.
try and flip the switch. And you know, at certain points, it was like I'd watch it and like, right, yeah, that's fucked up. Back to vegan mode. Back I go. And
Yeah.
then my mind would slowly slip away again. I'm like, why is this happening? And yeah, I don't know, it's fucking mental, mate.
Was there anything else that you did to try and cope that you think is particularly funny? I mean, I know you're looking back on it now, you're kind of laughing about it, but I mean, what other mechanisms did you come up with during the time? Because it couldn't have just. It's not like that crack in the facade instantly starts allowing all the light of the truth to come through. It's kind of like you got to realize that you're wrong and then battle with the first layer and then hit the second boss after that. But what else did you do to try and keep yourself in the mode?
um, Not a lot really, to be honest. You know, I pushed a lot of shit to the back of my head. Um, and I just tried to troll through, just fucking pushed myself forward, pushed it to the back of my head, and I think that's a big problem because I didn't speak out about it,
Yeah.
and I think that caused me to snap in a sense. But yeah, no, I don't think I did anything else other than fucking watch animals be killed. Just watching, you know, Gary Yourofsky inspirational videos that turned me vegan. I tried to watch his initial lecture that turned me vegan. I couldn't even sit through the whole thing. I was like, yeah, it's not
Oh
working,
no.
man.
Well, what about it was different? Was it just like the
I
whole
just
vibe, or was there specific stuff?
It was the whole vibe. You know, I used to watch that shit, right, and get fucking goosebumps. I was like, my God, Gary is the fucking legend.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was watching it. I wasn't getting the same vibe. I wasn't feeling the same passion. And he talked about mock meats, like a fair bit, to be fair. And I was already like, oh, that's fucked up. Like, mock
Mm.
meats. Like, now, obviously, I don't agree with mock meats in the slightest. And I think vegans who have been vegan over a year or two and you're still eating fake meats, you need to just stop that shit. Because I
Well,
don't know, it's
what
weird.
should they eat instead though?
Yeah.
What should they go
So I
for
mean,
instead
yeah.
of the mock meat?
What's that? Sorry.
You said if you're vegan for more than a year and you're still eating the
Yeah.
mock meats, you should stop it. But what should they do instead?
I guess. I mean, whatever, man. But Whole Foods plant based diet is apparently the healthy one, isn't it?
Yeah, but what like didn't you try that too? All these other people are trying it too. All these
I
different types of
I
legumes and
I tried it too. What I think is you just got to be honest with yourself, yeah, and you got to think to yourself, why am I still eating these animal products all the time? No, sorry, these fake animal products all the time.
yeah, yeah.
And but the thing is, people will not be honest with themselves, and they're just gonna push it to the side and just think and they'll have their excuses for the mock meats,
Yeah.
just the same way I had the excuses for my mock meats, and that's it, man. Like, and I'm not the only. The thing is, right? People think like the YouTubers that are coming out are just the only fucking idiots that are breaking veganism. Like
That's
the
what I
amount of
think is
people,
hilarious about the narrative, right? It's like, oh, it's just a few people
yeah,
on YouTube. No one in the real world not being vegan anymore. What?
exactly. And the amount of messages I get on Instagram, even from YouTubers that you wouldn't expect,
Yeah.
saying that they're having health issues and they're scared to come out. You know, they're looking at the backlash that I got and they're like, fuck that. Why would I want to go through that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, it's not, these are not isolated cases from people on YouTube. 100%. There's lots of people suffering, I think.
I think you're absolutely right, man. I mean, I'm sure I've had similar situations as yours, right? As far as like people wanting advice behind the scenes, people that are not ready to talk about what they've been. So there's some people who've already been eating animal foods, and they're like, I just don't know how to fucking tell my audience. Like, I don't know what to
Yeah,
do,
exactly.
right? And
Yeah.
people like Drew Morg. Shout out to Drew Morg. Making sure to check out his channel. He's been doing some good, kind of. He is an ex-vegan who's kind of pissed. Right, I mean, Jacko, he's real nice. He's real sympathetic to the crowd. Bobby's pissed. Drew's pissed. Like,
Yeah.
check out Drew Morg's channel. But a lot of these people in the vegan movement are struggling, And I would say all of them are. I think it's abundantly clear that every single vegan out there is struggling. That's why you're trying to eat fake meat. That's why you're constantly thinking about milk, meat, butter, cheese, and you're trying to replicate it with these shitty foods. I think they're
Yeah.
all suffering, and they're all really. A lot of them are in doubt as well, especially with guys like you coming out, right? It's like when their heroes talk about "I'm not vegan anymore," they start to doubt it. They start to think about it.
Yeah, and everything else is to blame other than the diet.
Yeah,
Like that's the one thing they don't blame. The one thing they don't even think. And this is what annoys me. It's like because of the religion in a sense, because of the cult-like behavior, they they wouldn't even, attempt to eat some eggs or something just to try it. Like if
yeah,
it don't work, then you go back to veganism. But because of the cult religion mentality and the backlash that they'll get, they're too scared to even eat a fucking egg.
yeah.
That shit's fucking mental.
Well, Vegan
And
Foot
like you're
Soldier
saying,
says that when you're saying like, hey, just try it, try some animal foods. He says that is like Satan whispering in vegans' ears. So he
yeah, a
agrees.
lot of
He
people.
agrees that it's evil. It's just evil inclinations, and you need to cleanse it and be vegan and just stomp out your desires.
Yeah, 100%. And vegans have a problem with sentience. Killing a sentient being. But you can eat some eggs, eat some fucking bivalves or whatever you fucking call them, and see how that fucking treats you.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
oysters.
Even then, it's too fucking much. And like you said about Bobby's perspective and Drew Morg, I've always wondered how can a man be anti-vegan, right? How can a man be anti-vegan? How can you be against such a compassionate movement in a
Yeah,
sense?
yeah,
And what I've noticed recently is I know fucking full well why these people go in hard on vegans. It's because they're fucking pissed off. They're pissed off at the fucking idiots who are trying to make out like they're fucking the devil of some sort. And even a part of me, because the shit that I've got from people and the fucking bollocks people talk, part of me just wants to fucking wage war against the fucking vegan, right?
yeah.
And I can understand why they do it
Well,
because
why
they're
aren't you? Why
angry.
you've been so nice? I mean, it seems like you waged war against the ex-vegans for a little bit, but it seems like you're taking a different route than you were on the vegan side.
Yeah,
You're being very
I f-
diplomatic. You're being real nice about it. Why? Why
yeah.
so
I
merciful?
think I think I think it's because I'm scared. I'm scared, man. Like these fucking cunts are gonna turn up to my house with a fucking knife or something. But
You just see vegan gains as like his infamous cover images in your mind when you think about it, huh?
exactly, exactly. And there's a few different things. There's a few different things. Like obviously, my girlfriend is still vegan,
Yeah.
and I respect her choices. And the last thing I want to do is push her away by being anti-vegan in a
Would
sense,
do you
right?
think that
So
that would happen, or do you think you don't? Do you think she would take it personally if you were?
and I don't think it wouldn't end us in a sense, but it might piss her off. But I don't. It depends on the route I go down. If I
Isel,
just turn
Isel,
around and
take
say,
notes. Take notes, Isel.
yeah, 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 mate, you wait. The video he's going to bring out a video straight after the stream. Trust me,
Oh,
he's
I'm sure.
fucking rapid, mate. Um, so she wouldn't mind. She wants me, like she wanted me to make the video against Isol, like, and even he was they say I took him out of context, but even he admitted that veganism is an experiment in a
Yeah.
sense, and
And you
so that's
didn't
why
want
I
to
made the video.
experiment on your child. You said this. You said, look, this is not something we know the outcome of, and the possible harm definitely outweighs the possible benefits as far as health goes for the kid, as far as you were concerned. And I got to commend you on that, man. Thank you so much for talking about that issue in particular, because this is something I've been harping about on this channel. And I don't know if you've tuned
Yeah,
into many of my rants. I've done like way too many hours of videos talking about this type of stuff, but I really think it is of crucial importance to give kids animal foods. And vegan parenting, I think this is child abuse. Now, I am not for the state taking away your kids because you're not feeding them how the state tells you should feed them. I'm not for all this nanny state bullshit, but I do think it is very, very dangerous to kids, and I've seen kids suffer from it. So thank you for talking about that and making what I think is the right decision for your kid, man. I really appreciate that.
yeah, 100% agree. And I think if anyone was to agree with anything, even the vegans, I think it would be the fact that I've removed my son from a vegan diet because if anything, that's the most important thing. Like, fuck my health. Like, what I care about is my son's health. I think that's priority,
Yeah.
and then my health comes second. So, like, even if I stayed vegan, he wouldn't be fucking vegan anymore because that shit is fucking messed up. I think personally, like raising babies vegan, I just think that shit's messed up. Honestly, I think that I don't not that I've seen studies in that, but when I just think about it logically, you know, I was raised with animal products. Why should I deny that from my son? Who
Yeah.
knows what that could do to my son in the long term? No one fucking knows. And then people message me say like, "Oh yeah, no, I raised my son vegan, and well, let me see what your fucking son looks like."
Yeah.
And
But
yeah,
what you should do. You say let's have a race. Michaela Peterson said this to to what's his face Lane Norton. Lane Norton was trying to shit on Michaela Peterson for giving her kid like basically an all animal foods diet. And she was like, "Let's have my kids and your kids race, and we'll see who wins."
that's it, man. Exactly. So yeah, I do think it's crucial for children, especially of a young age, to consume animal products.
Mm.
I'd had animal products as a kid, and for me to deny that of my son, I just think is a bit messed up.
Yeah.
And the fact that and the thing is, my son wasn't even on a healthy vegan diet, right? So what people would class as a healthy vegan diet, like my son was raised on meat, cheese, milk, and eggs, right? So he didn't like vegetables. I had to try and hide vegetables. If he had like potatoes and vegetables, I had to
Yeah.
smother that shit in gravy,
Yeah.
just to get him to eat it.
Yeah. You can
So,
put butter on the rice to get him to eat the rice
yes,
and salt.
exactly. Exactly. And he was eating mock meats as well because he fucking loved mock meats. He loves fake cheese. He loves fake meat. Like, why does my son like the fake cheese and the fake meat more than the fucking broccoli and the chickpeas? Like, my
The
man,
vegans they come up with the craziest explanation. They'll say it's because he's clearly evolving to eat the superior food. He's his body's
yeah,
adapting, and
yeah, that's it.
he knows that Beyond Burgers are just so
Yeah,
good for him.
that's it. That's it.
So your kid
But
does he drink milk and eat cheese now and have meat?
we haven't introduced dairy yet. It's
Yeah,
just been meat. Yeah.
just you guys can get raw dairy in the UK, right?
I can get raw cow's milk about 7 minutes from my house.
Well, all right. Well, please don't give them pasteurized. Give them raw. Look into it at least. Look into the raw versus
No, no,
pasteurized
no,
thing.
no, no, no. Yeah, no. I mean, I've been watching a lot of shit, even on yourself, in regards
Yeah.
to pasteurized. And if he was ever to consume dairy, it would be the good shit.
Kids love it, man. My kids love milk. My son, he'll ask for cream in the morning. He loves raw cream and raw milk. Somebody, Psycho Magnet sends €2. Says, Jacko, what meat are you smashing the most, son?
Um, I've been trying a bit of everything, to be honest. I've been eating a lot of beef. I've been eating a lot of fish. I've been eating shit like bone marrow. I've been eating chicken.
Yeah.
I'm just testing shit out.
Favorites? Got any
Yeah.
favorites?
Have I got any favorite? Like, I love fish. Fish is my favorite, I would say,
Yeah.
because I don't season any of my food really. I might use a bit of salt, but fish has just got that lovely taste to it. Just unseasoned. So yeah,
Yeah.
I like fish. I like steak.
Butter?
Yeah,
Do some butter?
I haven't really been consuming dairy yet.
Yeah.
I'm still not on that vibe.
Well,
But
you know what'd be cool? You could do a Jacko Wacko visits the dairy farm video. You go check out your raw dairy farm, see if you get some butter, get some raw milk over there. You can.
Could you imagine? Yeah. Could you imagine,
Hey
bro?
man. Hey, I'll share it.
Like I
I'll
said,
share it. I'll help you out if you. I'll share
yeah.
that one if you got it.
All right. But I mean, like even when you said earlier, like, why am I being nice in a sense? Why am I not being an absolute savage? Yeah, like I said, I didn't take the criticism so well.
Yeah.
I didn't take it as well as I thought I would. So I
Nobody
don't know. Like I
does.
said,
Nobody likes to
no,
just be
nobody does.
picked apart. And it wasn't just criticism, man. These are people who you bared your heart to a certain extent, right? You kind of opened up
Yes.
and were just like, look, this is what I was struggling with. Not just I ate
Yeah.
meat. It's like, no, I had a full-on breakdown and an identity crisis because of this crazy vegan nonsense. You opened up your soul
Yeah.
to people, man. And that's like
Hmm.
you opened up your wounds and everything, and they just come to pick on those freaking wounds, like
Yeah.
vultures, man.
Yeah. And, I poured my fucking heart out, and not that I wanted the sympathy in a sense. I was just telling everyone everything, and I still. You get some fucking mental. I had people telling me just to hang myself. Oh shit!
For the animals, though, it's
That's
for the animals, dude. It's okay.
Yeah, mate. For the animals, as long as it's for the animals, then you can just get away with fucking whatever you want.
I wonder what Gary Yourofsky would have said. I wonder if Gary Yourofsky's been following all this.
Who knows what Gary Yoski's up to these days? And I do think he retired at the right time because I feel like the anti-vegan movement became a lot like for him as an activist. It was quite easy because there wasn't much nutritional side against the veganism.
Yeah.
I feel like that's quite more recent, especially with yourselves and Frank Tofano, fucking Bart Kay, Paul Saladino, all them people. Like Gary wouldn't have been able to argue against the nutritional aspect, I don't believe. So he did retire at the right time, and I think he did it because of that. He saw the movement was getting stronger, and he thought, I need to fucking, hang up my fucking coat
I
and
would have loved to
whatever.
smash Gary on the. I would have loved to debate him on the ethical issues of it because I feel
Yeah.
like for me the ethical issues they crumble quicker than anything else. The
Oh, you
dietary,
reckon?
the nutritional stuff. I think that stuff's really that can be difficult to debate with some people because it's so easy for them to get just totally entrenched in the dogma and they just point Dr. Greger though.
Yeah.
But I really think the ethical
Yeah.
aspect of it falls under scrutiny when you actually look at uh, rural production of food, local production of food, and if we're going to go towards, people talk about sustainability, which I think it's not the best term to be using, and it's definitely been hijacked, the word sustainability. But if you really want to feed the world, locally produced animal foods are the gauntlet. Like that, you can produce protein, fat, and carbohydrate on a small piece of grassland, where you can produce none of that using vegetable agriculture. Families can live off of their own land using animals. There is not a single vegan family who's using only their own food that they grow. There are many people using animal husbandry doing that. So I think as far as the ethical aspects and the environmental aspects, I think it really, if you get the time and the patience to have a long conversation with somebody, it's pretty easy to take that down.
No, no, and and these are the exact arguments which made me, second guess veganism. Like I was watching your videos before I'd even put out my first video.
How
I
come
was
you didn't
listening
attack
to you.
me? Like some of these, like why didn't you go after me and say like this guy's a knob? Look at his bald, stupid head. I don't know. Like
Um, you know what? Like, I think I went after the easy targets, and because I went after the fucking airheads.
yeah,
Yeah, I went after the Sarah Teresa's.
okay,
I went after the Roman millennials. I went after just these fucking the people that didn't even had good arguments. Like it was easy
yeah,
for me because my arguments weren't even necessarily that strong because my argument was it's for the fucking animals, son. Yeah.
yeah,
So I think, in all honesty, I did choose the easiest targets, and when Frank Tofano came out, I remember him. He had like 2,000 subscribers, like that. His channel was growing very rapidly,
uh-huh.
and he would say things, and I wouldn't have a fucking clue what he's on about. It's like, how can I make a video against him when he's talking about science that I don't even understand? It would be a fucking waste of my time, and he'd probably make me look stupid. So yeah, in all honesty, like I said, it was just I would watch these anti-vegan videos, and if I didn't think I could make it funny, I wouldn't make the video.
Yeah,
Um, and another thing I'd say as well, all you anti-vegan people like yourself, Carnival, uh, Sverage, all whatever, all the fucking Daphne Reloaded.
mm,
Like, I just by default didn't like you.
yeah,
Okay, I by default, whether it doesn't matter, but
yeah,
because you was anti-vegan, because you was against everything I stood for, I didn't want to hit. No matter what you said to me, it was just in one ear, out the fucking other. You're a cunt. You want to stab animals, and I didn't even give you a fucking chance.
yeah.
And now I'm not vegan. I've broke veganism. I'm fucking loving some of the personalities on YouTube
Mm,
um, from a anti-vegan perspective.
yeah. That's cool.
So
That's
no,
cool.
yeah, no offense. Like I know you
No, I'm not
mentioned
offended.
Frank.
It's just funny because like, a lot of these people, I don't know, they don't really come after me. But I understand. You go for the low hanging fruits. It's you're not going to start a fight with someone who you don't really want to go head to head with
Yeah,
too. You know.
and to be honest, in regards to yourself, you didn't really pop up on my radar much. To be
Yeah.
honest, I'm not sure why. I mean, I have no idea why. You
Yeah,
know,
the
there was so
algorithm. We're on
many.
the back end of the algorithm. We've used some
Yeah,
naughty words on the channel before. So we're bad boys in the
yeah,
algorithm.
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, fuck knows. I mean, fuck knows. No idea
Yeah.
why I didn't do yourself. Maybe.
Yeah, in another life.
Yeah.
Gary Rofsky, Joey Carbstrong, these guys, you clearly see them a little bit differently now, huh?
Oh, 100%. Especially Joey Carbstrong.
Mm.
Yeah. Especially Joey Carbstrong. When I watch, before when I used to watch him, I was like, yes, bruv, like, you're a savage. Like, I just looked at him like he was fucking quality.
Yeah.
But now, I don't know, it's a little bit different. I feel like his arguments, like, I watched your video when he spoke to that 12-year-old kid
Mm.
on Instagram or whatever. And now, obviously, I'm not vegan. I look at it from a different perspective, and I just feel like the shit he was saying to that kid was just fucking weird, man.
Yeah, who
Like,
talks
why are
to a
you
child like that? That's the argument you're gonna make.
like,
Animals do a lot of fucked up shit in the wild, mate. They rape each other, they kill each other.
yeah,
It's like, whoa,
and
dude, I'm 12.
yeah, yeah, and
What?
he was saying he was saying to the 12-year-old, like, what if I fucking stabbed your dog or whatever? I
Hmm.
don't know, just weird shit.
Just for fun. What if
Um,
I just stabbed your dog just for fun? It's like, what the
just for fun,
fuck?
yeah. And the geezer was my best mate on Instagram chat and stuff, and he didn't actually watch my first video when I came out.
Okay.
And he messaged me like a month after it, and he said, "Oh, I heard about your stuff. I didn't actually watch your video, but just get on that healthy lifestyle." So he was pretty sound to me. I was like, "All
Yeah,
right,
that's nice.
cool, sound mate." And then I made a video, which I actually ended up removing,
Yeah.
um, just talking about how my health is more important than an animal's. That's pretty much what I said. People fucking hated that. And then yeah,
Speciesist.
yeah, and then next year, next thing you know, I've got Joey Carbstrong basically threatening me in my comments.
Hmm.
He basically said, if you carry on with these anti-vegan videos, you're going to be publicly shamed. It's like going from best mate to basically threatening me. It's like, all right, mate.
But you let him
Jesus.
win. You let him win. You took the video down.
Yeah.
What?
I know, and I know I shouldn't have taken it down, but I was looking at the ratio, the dislikes and the likes. I was like, shit, that's savage. I can't. What am I doing? I was just like, maybe I said, what am I doing? So yeah, and I just I think like, but when I see someone as large on the animal activism scale commenting on such a small YouTuber like mine in such a shitty manner, I just see insecurities.
Yeah, yeah.
I see insecurities, and it's like, why are you talking to me like that? If you're so confident about your movement, you're so confident about everything, why the fuck are you trying to threaten me and trying to prevent me from talking my fucking truth, in a sense?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, Joe Carstrong, he bugs me more than any of those guys. I mean, there's something about that. I don't know. I understand the appeal that it might have to some people, but he seems so manic to me. The way he speaks to people and the eyes, the crazy eyes.
Yeah,
It's like kind of,
he's got the
man, lay off, like back off.
yeah. He's very intense. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's just his general character, and it always has been. I don't know, but yeah, he's very intense, very starey. I don't think he ever blinked.
He has to lubricate his eyes off camera.
That's it. So fuck knows what's going on with him.
Yeah. So the activism stuff. I mean, it's obviously getting big. What do you think about the breaking into farmers' homes, the breaking into people's property, and stealing geese and stealing chickens? Have you seen some of the activism that's going on this month?
Not this month. I haven't really watched much this month, but I mean, I've done videos of these animal rights activists breaking into farms, preventing distribution, whatever preventing the lions, the animal killed lions, or whatever they do. And I praised them. No, I praised them. Like, I was the first one to be like, yes, son, like, saving the fucking animals and all that. But I mean, obviously, I look at it differently now, especially when they attack the local small farms. Like, if you're going to do anything, fucking go march up to these factory farms. But
they
won't
call these local small farms factory farms, and you're looking at it, you're like, no, we can see that this woman's got dogs, and you're saying that these poor slave dogs. Look at these dogs, and like Earthling Ed's walking up to the dogs, pointing his phone at them. And I'm just thinking, Earthling Ed, my dogs would kill you if you did that. You come up to my dogs like that, they're gonna be pissed off. Of course they're barking at you. Of course they look upset. There's an effeminate weirdo vegan pointing a phone at them, lurking outside of
Yeah.
their cage, mocking them. Um, Here, I got a few super chats to read off. Let me just read some super chats real quick. Jackson, into the further. Thanks for the $5, man. Says I struggled with leaving after 5 years too. Broke it with Tristan's group coaching. Life is better now. Right on, man. So, that reminds me. Little shout out to the Keto and the Carnivore Collective for July. It's starting on July 7th. So you've got a couple of weeks left to sign up for that. There's a link down in the description below. John Dennison hasn't attached anything to 2 super chats. Thank you so much, John Dennison. Your support is appreciated, and we see you here. You are a regular here in the Bald Man Bad Show. Psycho Magnet, what's up, man? $2 or whatever those are, euros. Says Jacko. Well, we already answered this. He said, Jacko, what meat are you smashing the most, son? And yeah, we already went through that one. So
Yeah.
all right, so back to the task at hand. What do you think about like YouTube and mental health? I want to really get into this one because this is the best aspect of your coming out video. Not just the aspect of, veganism wasn't the best diet for me and I've got to explore animal nutrition, but what about the mental health aspects of just being a YouTuber and influencing people on YouTube in this feedback loop, in this dopamine hamster cage of YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, it's dangerous and it's not for everyone. Like I thought I could handle criticism quite well, and the reason I could handle criticism quite well initially is because I had the majority of people praising me, and it would be a small handful of people, trying to attack me. So yeah, I do. I think it's dangerous, especially from an anxiety depression perspective. Especially from you upload a video, and you fucking how many fucking views have I got? Oh, am I getting comments? And
Yeah,
I think it's bad for the health, man. And you think if you're on YouTube, you need to be disciplined. Yeah, you need to upload a video, put your fucking phone away, come back to it in 6 hours time, respond to some comments or whatnot, and then put it away. Because I was at one point, I'm just fucking. I've got notifications on. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Checking my phone every 30 seconds. I'm fucking going insane.
yeah,
So yeah, I think people need to be careful. I mean, I've still got issues now with just dopamine and my smartphone in general. Like, I need to get rid of my smartphone and just fucking put my SIM card in some shitty phone or something that doesn't have internet because
yeah.
this shit's real, man, and it really is causing health issues for people, including myself.
Yeah, because it seems like the vegan YouTube community kind of bypassed this whole aspect of it. They just kind of said they tried to just make it out as, oh no, Jacko's just a degenerate drunk. That was kind of the narrative from a lot of them.
Yeah, so because I was sober in 99% of my 250 videos that I uploaded, right? And just because I had a pint or a bottle of beer with that just became sort of my niche. When I did these food test videos, I would just have a bottle of beer because, I had this geezer persona, I'm this fucking lad having a fucking beer, not
Yeah,
giving a fuck. That's all it was. It was
yeah,
just like a personality. Um, and then because of that, I'm a fucking alcoholic. And people completely um, misconceived what I said. Is that a word? No, whatever. They misunderstood what I said in my first video. What I said is I had to use alcohol as a tool because I acquired this panic disorder where I'd have these fucking breakdowns. And because I didn't know how to resolve them, I didn't know how to handle them. I was fucking stood in my fucking front room, just like having dark thoughts and just fucking tripping out hard.
yeah,
The only way I knew how to calm myself down was to fucking consume a lot of alcohol. So I became dependent on alcohol in a sense during that month or two because I used it as a tool to soften the blow of the anxiety. And it helped, but it was a vicious cycle because I would wake up even more anxious. There I am fucking drinking beer at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning
mm,
because I feel like I'm going to break down. And, it just spiraled out of control. Next thing you know, I'm fucking in hospital, fucking getting detoxed, and just fucking uh, being fucking prescribed medication, and I don't know, it was a madness. And don't get me wrong, right? I'm a 27-year-old man living in the UK. I love a beer, I love a drink.
mm,
All me and my mates all do. but I wasn't dependent on it. You know, I wasn't dependent. I was living my life normally. I just would love a beer here and there, just like some people would smoke a fucking joint or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, people think I'm some sort of fucking drunk, like you said, and that really is not the case. But I completely understand alcohol is bad for you. I completely understand how that would have fucked up my mental health as well. And you know, I'm putting a fucking leash on that shit.
Did you stop drinking completely? I saw part of your recent video. I didn't get to watch all of it. Did you quit the booze, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, I haven't drank alcohol since I was in hospital. So
Oh,
I haven't drank
yeah.
alcohol, yeah, for like 2.5 months, maybe, whatever it is.
You never had like the shakes or anything like that when you.
No, 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 no. I had my liver, my blood tests to check my liver, and the doctor was like, "How much have you been drinking?" Because he would expect to see some form of damage of
Yeah.
some sort to the liver, to the blood. And no, it wasn't like I didn't have any withdrawal symptoms. I just like to go to the pub and have a fucking pint with my mates. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. So
Interesting.
it hasn't been
Yeah.
hard. Yeah, I haven't been going to fucking Alcoholics Anonymous or anything. Like it's been a piece of piss.
Yeah. It almost sounds like the
Yeah.
more dangerous relationship was the social media.
100%, 100%. And that's what fucked me up, and that's what caused me to snap. And yeah, there was lots of different factors. I mean, I do shift work. I fucking work night
Oh,
shifts.
dude, that's
My
so
mind is
rough. That's yeah.
yeah,
That's really hard.
yeah. So
How many
I'm doing
nights a
like
week do you
12
work?
hours. Well, I work. I do four. It's only once a month I do nights, right?
Yeah.
So I do four 12-hour shifts once a month.
Yeah.
Okay, but it completely fucks you up because the day before that day you start the night shifts at 8 p.m. I've got my son, so I have to wake up at 7 a.m. to take him to school, right?
Yeah.
I'm all up, I'm showered, and I can't sleep the rest of the day. So you're up for over 26 hours because you have to do your night shift. And it's like,
Yeah.
it makes me fucking trip out, man.
Well,
It
then you
makes me trip
compound
out.
that. You compound that with like a diet that's deficient in easily digestible nutrients. It's a recipe for disaster, right? And I would say
Exactly.
any vegan diet would end up with the same breakdown. It's like people say, "Oh, he did it wrong," or there's always an excuse. But I mean, there's people on fruitarian diets breaking down. They say they did it wrong. Okay, that's an easy one. They're not getting any protein. They're not getting any fat.
Yeah.
Then you got people like you who are doing we're doing whole food plant based, but also kind of a lot of mock meats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's so many different vegan diets, and they all end up failing.
Of course. And, people will always latch on to something. Like if you slip up and say alcohol or you slip up and say fruit, it's like everyone will just jump on that. Oh, you're a fruitarian or you a fucking alcoholic. It's like, when will the perfect ex-vegan come out? When will everyone be like, oh, okay, you did everything right. Fair play
That's
to you.
valid. It's
You know
valid.
what I mean? Yeah. Good time.
Who
See you
is it,
later.
right? Well, it
Thank you.
definitely wasn't Tim Sheaf. Because let's talk about that. We got Psycho Magnet for €2. Says one more. Jacko, did you have wet dreams like Tim? Not did you have wet dreams about Tim? Did you have wet dreams like Tim?
No, no. I mean, I wish I did. That would have been fucking quality. But
As
no,
long as they're of your girlfriend, right? Come on.
of course, of course, of course. And I do feel like people like I get a lot of stick about Tim because he was a big inspiration of mine. I looked up to him. He was always there at the beginning of my
Tim's
veganism.
awesome. Tim
Uh,
Sheaf's rad. I
yeah,
liked him. He's a good dude.
he's fucking quality. But people would say shit like, "Oh, why don't you go drink Tim's piss?" or "Why don't you go fuck Tim?" Or it's like, shut up, bruv. What are you on about? Like all these.
Oh, why don't you go
people,
be like a legitimately impressive athlete like Tim? Oh.
yeah, 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 exactly. And
Uh,
Tim, what I find weird is Tim never was like me. Like I understand the backlash I got because I went in fucking savage on motherfuckers, right? But someone like Tim who just cracked on with things, he did his athletic shit, and he was just, he was a nice, humble guy. He got the biggest backlash out of everyone,
yeah.
like the worst backlash, and he's still getting it now. People just giving him shit just because it wasn't working out for him, and I do feel sorry for him the most because it's completely turned his fucking life upside down, really, isn't it?
I don't know. I think he's a legitimately talented guy who, even without the vegan movement, he's gonna still be doing all sorts of awesome shit. And check out Tim's
I agree.
Instagram if you want to see some cool clips. He just puts up random clips all the time of him just crawling over buildings and doing his parkour stuff. He's a talented, creative dude. I'm not too worried
Yeah.
about Tim. But yeah, it does suck, man. They try to eat him alive. They worshipped him, and then they just, as soon as he left, it's, oh, that guy was never our friend. He's terrible. That's really weird.
Ex- and ex- yeah, especially people who are actually close to him, like Hench Herbivore, just
Klaus.
will not, Yeah, Klaus. They just will not let it go. It's
Yeah.
like let the man crack on with things.
Well, I
Like
don't think
Jesus
Hench
Christ.
Herbivore ever met Tim. I didn't get to talk about Hench with Tim, but from my perspective, it seems like what Hench did was he just kind of he slid in on the sponsorship thing. Tim left his sponsor or his company, and then Hench like kind of slyly moved in and basically took his place on YouTube promoting that product.
100%, yeah, yeah, and there's a video of him wearing Tim's design T-shirt, slating Tim. Like,
Yes.
you don't get, you don't get any worse than that. That's
Well,
savagery.
I know, man. I mean, to me, it's like it's pathetic. It's just pathetic. Like you're wearing a shirt that
Yeah,
this dude designed. You're basically following his footsteps, following his model. Um, but yeah, I think Tim showed a lot of integrity, and maybe he lost his business, maybe he lost a lot of his followers, but in the end, he's probably going to gain a lot more from that. He's got a lot more integrity as a human being, in my opinion. Same with you,
I
man.
agree.
It's like
Yeah,
Jacko Wacko. Maybe if you kept on that road, you could have. Who knows? You could have gone to some dark places.
I agree, 100%. Yeah, and I mean the channel was rising. Who knows what happened, but I had to do what was right, and
What was up with
here
the?
we
You had
are.
like some celebrity feedback too, right? Didn't you? You mentioned someone was like following you on Instagram. Some celebs. You had like Kim Kardashian or something DMing you.
Uh, there's some bird. There's some bird called Lucy Watson. She's pretty famous. She was on a reality TV show, and she pushes veganism and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, she was following me on Instagram. I mean, I was sort of joking when I said it, but it's like
Yeah. No, but it came to your
I
mind for a reason, man. It's like you
yeah,
remembered that, even though you knew it was goofy. You're like, yeah, whatever. That's just some chick who's on
yeah,
TV. You still
yeah,
remembered
yeah.
it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And I lapped that shit up. I looked at
Yeah.
that shit like, my God, she's following me and she's famous. It's crazy. What's going on?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
how
it's
hard do you
mad.
think it is for guys who are even bigger, who have even bigger followings, who may be on television, who maybe have like celebrity hookups and stuff? I mean, this must be so much more difficult for them to maintain that facade.
100%. So for someone like me, very small channel, I might have found it hard, but it was easily to break through. My financial income didn't depend on it. Like I work full time anyway, so it wasn't that much responsibility in that sense. When you look at these larger people like Hench Herbivore, like the big activists, there's no way, whether they want to or not, there's no way they will ever come out as anti-vegan. The only thing, because it will fucking just fuck them up
Yeah.
mentally, and just imagine the backlash that they get. So the only thing, if you ever see these people just being like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna stop this activism now. Um, I'm gonna stop promoting it just because what do they call it? They burn out. They say they burn out, but
Yeah.
I think that's going to come down to them having second thoughts. Maybe they are very unwell. They're not going to admit it. They can't admit it. Could you imagine Joey Carbstrong coming out
You
as an
could see that
ex-vegan?
he's
Could
not
you imagine?
well. I mean, you could see it in the guy's face. He makes videos every once in a while where he's like, I'm burned out. I don't know if I can do it anymore. And yeah, you can
Yeah,
see that the guy's not well. I mean, he came into veganism not well. He looks at veganism as his savior, right? He came out of
yeah,
prison after a history of violent crime. And, oh, I'm vegan now. So I'm good now. I'm a good guy. I'm going to tell everyone else how to live now. It's,
exactly. So, and for these people, it's definitely harder. When you look at people like Raw Alignment, yeah, they were vegan, and yeah, they promoted veganism, but they didn't necessarily push it on people. They didn't
yeah.
necessarily slate people. So even though she got a shit ton of backlash, it probably wasn't as difficult for her, I don't think, because it's not like she ever pushed it in a malicious way, I guess.
Hmm.
But someone like Joey or Hench or
Right. It's like
whoever.
Richard Vegan Gains. It's like, is he ever going to be able to really see this objectively? Will he ever admit it? I don't know.
No, 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 definitely not. He's gonna just continue doing this until I don't know. I don't know. He won't
It's
be on
sad.
YouTube forever.
No,
Yeah,
he
fuck
won't.
knows how.
I mean,
No.
it'd be the best thing for his health at every level of his health if he got off YouTube. Anyways, as you I'm sure would agree. But
Yeah.
it's weird. I haven't tuned in to him for a while, but I jumped into one of his live streams recently, and he's like, at the very beginning, he was talking about how he's like, I'm still sick. I don't know how long you've been sick, but almost every time I see him, he's talking about how he's sick or this or that's wrong. And
Yeah.
these people, they think it has nothing to do with the diet. And then as soon as you get to a certain point, they say, Screw it. It's not about health. It's about ethics. It's about the animals. So then it's just okay. Well, I see what you're doing here.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's very easy for us to fall back onto, oh, it's okay, don't worry, it doesn't matter about my health, it's for the animals. And it's a scapegoat in a sense. It's a
Mm,
scapegoat as to being unhealthy. It doesn't matter that I'm unhealthy because
yeah,
it's for the fucking animals.
yeah. Go down with the ship.
Yeah, man.
And do you think that ship's going down? What do you think is going to happen with vegan YouTube? You think it's going to grow again, hit another growth spurt, or do you think it's kind of petering down? What's going to happen?
I don't see it stopping. No, I don't see it stopping. The reason I don't see it stopping is because it's getting bigger. From a corporation perspective,
Yeah,
it's going to just keep growing. The fake meats, they're going to be pushing it. It's all over TV. It's on the adverts. It's fucking everywhere.
yeah.
So it's just going to get bigger and bigger. They're going to, yeah. I don't see it going down anytime soon. I don't
Mm.
know how it will ever go down.
Well,
I don't
Google's
know how.
actually, we were talking about the Eat Lancet Commission, which is this, global guidelines for dietary planetary health, and it's essentially a bunch of big foundations from big pharmaceutical money and big agriculture companies and processed food companies. But Google is one of the partners in what's called, I think it was called the Fresh Initiative, which is part of the Eat Lancet Commission. So yeah, I would agree. We're probably gonna see a major push with vegan YouTube. We're actually seeing, and I'm gonna get in on this maybe tomorrow or the next day. I'll make an actual video about what's been going on. But there is social media censorship going on concerning carnivore stuff. A lot of carnivore hashtag and fasting hashtags. These are being censored now on Instagram in particular, and the algorithm is removing certain content and is making putting up those little eyes where you have to tap on it on Instagram that says this is sensitive content. We're going to protect you from the nasty, naughty images. You got to click on this if you want to look at it. So we are seeing that, and I would say you're right, man. It's even though we see all these big names crumbling on vegan YouTube, it's gonna still happen. It's still gonna get pushed.
100%, mate. It ain't going to stop. And, it's a shame that obviously all this censorship is happening. And YouTube is just fucking going downhill. Everyone's pissed at YouTube. But the
Piece of
thing is,
joke.
there's not another platform that's on the same level for us to move over across
Nobody
to
can
at the
make
moment.
another platform on that level because YouTube's been operating
No.
at a loss for years. YouTube operates at a loss because its parent companies, Google and Alphabet, bail it out basically, and they keep it afloat. And now
Because they can use it to manipulate.
exactly. It's the greatest manipulation
Yeah.
tool ever. It's better if you could have it's like television except there's an electrode that reaches out and buzzes dopamine in the receiver. It's like television on acid, YouTube. I mean, it really it's like next level TV. It's really really
It is.
powerful.
And and it's addictive.
Yeah.
It's fucking addictive. YouTube is addictive. I fucking can't get off fucking YouTube. Even now, like I fucking love
Yeah,
this
here you
shit.
are. You're on the live stream.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it.
This is the thing is it's like yeah, it's fun, it gives you feedback, the audience gets feedback, the audience gets to comment, and the people will interact. It's like you can't watch TV and get Jimmy Kimmel to call you a dickhead, like no, but on
That's it.
YouTube
Yeah.
you can get Bald Man Bad's reaction, you can get people to you could fuck with people in the comments, you can do all kinds of funny stuff, but
Exactly. Yeah.
it's very very subversive in the way that it's being used now. It's kind of a shame, and this channel has taken a major hit. For the audience watching, we appreciate all the super chats, we appreciate the donations via PayPal, we appreciate the support because we've seen at least a 30% decrease in attendance to these live streams. Maybe because I'm just boring, no one wants to see my damn face anymore, but a lot of people are telling me that they're being unsubscribed by YouTube. So YouTube is unsubscribing people from the channel and they're unclicking the bell. So make sure to hit the bell, hit the like. I never beg for likes, but I got to freaking say it now. Hit the damn like, hit the subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed if you thought you were because you might be surprised. But yeah, man, the YouTube stuff, it sucks. It's like this is the platform that we're reaching out on, but at the same time, they're rapidly destroying the platform.
I know, and they're ruining it for everyone. Like, especially with information that needs to be heard that isn't being heard anywhere else.
That's why
Like
it's
in
got to get
regards,
ruined, right?
yeah. So I mean, that channels are getting deleted. all these you can't do videos on flat Earth or any shit anymore.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's
yeah,
so
that shit.
dangerous. Oh, flat Earth's so kooky, but we're gonna have to censor them. It's like, why don't you just let people
Yeah,
decide? Why do we need the nanny state to
yeah.
decide? You can't talk about certain events. Like if you talk about, you can't even say certain words. I'm not even gonna say certain words right now because YouTube will pull it down. Um, it's crazy. So someone says YouTube plays with my Tristan live streams bad. YouTube leave bald man alone. leave, leave bad bald man alone. Well, thank you, Box. I appreciate it. I know Box is a long time viewer, but yeah, you guys will find that very likely you may have had your bell unclicked. You may have had the subscribe unclicked. Now, I don't know if this is algorithmically determined due to content, hitting certain words or associating with certain people, but or maybe we're over the mark. Maybe some of the things we talk about on this channel are actually correct. And maybe some of the questions that we're asking are very, very important questions. Maybe we should read the inserts on those things that they inject into our kids. Maybe we should look deeper into issues like this whole 5G millimeter wave technology being put up everywhere without our consent with our tax dollars. We need to be asking these important questions. So if you want to support good content, well, first of all, check out Jacko Wacko's channel. I don't know where he's going to take it, but I know it's going to be interesting. So check out Jacko Wacko's channel. I'm going to pin a comment with his channel. But also, make sure to support the people that you really actually vibe with. And, go to our website and sign up for the newsletter so we can keep in touch with you if we do get kicked off, because you never know on YouTube. Yeah, let's see. I think we've kind of hit on most of the major points that I wanted to talk about, but how have you been feeling lately, man? We talked about all the issues you experienced, about the harsh realities you had to face, and about the breakdown of the facade of the vegan personality. How's it going now? Like, what's going on with you?
I mean, I'm feeling more normal than ever. Um, my mental health is much better. I had to do 4 night shifts the other day. That does fuck with my head a little bit, so it
Yeah,
does set me back a little bit. I don't think I could continue to do nights forever. And the thing is, I'm new at my job, so I can't be fucking, dictating what I do and what I don't. I'm employed as a shift engineer, so I'm a little bit stuck at the moment with that,
yeah,
and I don't want to keep doing it. But yeah, my mental health is better. The thing with, because I've been eating predominantly meat at the moment. I've been eating
what?
so, and it's a bit weird for me, yeah, because I
Yeah,
spent the last 5 years eating just plants. It's weird on my body in the, how it's just so, I feel so satiated, right? And I wanna put on weight in a
yeah,
sense, right? So I'm eating this meat, and it's like I ain't even got an appetite because I've already eaten a large meal, and
yeah,
it's like I
yeah,
don't want to, yeah, and I don't want to lose weight, yeah. So, and I know a lot of people jump on the carnivore diets to lose weight,
yeah.
yeah, and that's the last thing I want to do.
Well, I would
So
say if you include some carbohydrates, I mean, look, you're trying to gain weight. I wouldn't necessarily, and I don't adhere to the idea that carbohydrates are bad whatsoever. Like, I don't think that they're bad. I don't think everybody should avoid them. But that's a good tool, man. You still eat your meat, eat your fats, add a little bit of carbs. That might be a way
yeah,
to increase the calories there. Honey,
yeah, hundred
honey tends
percent.
to digest real well. Hey, maybe the raw milk. To me, like if I'm gonna gain weight, raw milk is the easiest because you just sip it. You don't have to make a meal. You just sip on it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I haven't gotten that dairy vibe yet because that's still a funny one for me. I mean,
Not your mom. Not your mom. I get it.
yeah, it's like from a vegan perspective, right?
Yeah.
Put aside the meat industry, the dairy industry was, the fucking devil's work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the most evil shit on the planet. Um, so for me, I'm still, I'm
You know
still
how to break
having.
that? You know how to totally break that? Just go to the farm where they sell raw milk and go visit and just watch them milk the cows.
Yeah, I did. I visited a farm the other day. I was on the
Nice.
way to meet my brother, and I saw a sign for raw milk. I was like, "Well, this is interesting."
Yeah.
And you like pour the milk yourself, and it's like really weird. Like they got this sort of like vending machine sort of thing. You like pour the raw milk
The
yourself,
cow's in the vending
and
machine. Its udder is right there, and you kind of
no,
milk
no,
it.
not like that. But like, and there's signs that says, "Feel free to go look at our cows and watch them in like embrace being milked in a sense. I
Yeah.
didn't actually go do that,
Because
but
it
yeah, I don't
relieves
know.
them when they're being milked. The udders, they fill up, they get so full, and if you don't milk them, they'll get like mastitis. They'll get lumpy, they'll get pus in there if they don't get milked. They have to be milked, and
Yeah,
they're bred for it. They're bred to be docile, to enjoy it. Some dairy farms, they'll milk once a day, and then they'll let the calves drink milk the rest of the night. A lot of vegans, they talk about cows, or it's so evil to wean them from the mother, but they don't realize the cows will keep drinking milk for 3, 4. They'll drink milk forever if you don't separate from the mother. So
yeah.
it's a funny thing.
So obviously, yeah, of course. I mean, if it is like that, then I don't have a problem with it. You know, the way we've always looked at it as vegans is they give birth, they take the fucking cow away, and they
Yeah.
fucking kill the cow, and then the mother's fucked.
Yeah, right. And then
So, you
some
know,
weird old Bubba from Louisiana is like, fingering the cow and abusing it and
yeah,
branding
yeah,
it for
yeah,
no
yeah,
reason, just torturing it
yeah,
just because he's pissed off at life. Yeah, but
yeah,
that's so not really how it is in most of the world. I mean, if you go to these like good grass fed ranches and you go get some raw milk from them, you'll see that it's just these are families, man. These are people who work outside. They're people who are like, I mean, you mentioned you're an engineer, you work night shift, you're a blue collar guy. That's who these people are. They're not just monster
yeah.
hillbillies. They're good folks.
I I agree, totally agree, and I do look at these farmers, from a completely different perspective as when I did the last 5 years. I looked at them as fucking fuck their income,
Yeah,
fuck their job,
yeah,
stop raping cows. To me it was as black and white. To
yeah,
me it was as black and white as that, but
yeah.
I don't think it is as black and white as that.
It's hard to explore, right? Especially at first when we've programmed ourselves emotionally. But I think it's really cool to see you opening up to this stuff. So yeah, but gaining weight,
Yeah,
even if you don't add dairy, honey's a good one. That's a good
I've got
sugar.
honey.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got
That'll
honey.
help, man. That'll help. Get the
Yeah.
fats in. But I mean, it's not like you were super underweight, right?
No, I'm a skinny guy. I'm 6'6".
Yeah.
Just a lanky, skinny guy. I just always have been. So
Yeah.
I've never been underweight. Like people would say, "Oh, you're fucking underweight because you're vegan," but
Dude, he's six
I
foot
just think
six. Give the guy a break. Everyone who's 6'6" is a bit wiry, guys. Come on.
exactly. So yeah, it's not as simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's wrap it up, man. I try
Yeah,
to keep these under 2 hours. I really appreciate you coming on, man. It's nice to have a conversation with you, and I really resonate with the kind of your journey, especially you having a kid and realizing that maybe this isn't the best experiment to be running on my boy. I appreciate the honesty and just kind of the rawness that you brought, man. Just nothing but praise for you in the chat. I don't know if you checked it out at all, but everyone's saying, "Hey, Jacko seems real cool. He's matured emotionally," says someone. You just all kinds of giant man good, says Joshua Webb. You got all kinds of stuff, man. So yeah, like
yeah,
anything
man.
else that comes to mind that you wanted to hit on? You want to get off your chest?
Um, Not necessarily. No, not necessarily. I think we've covered everything. Yeah, fuck knows. There's probably things, but nothing that comes to the top of my head. I
Yeah.
appreciate you having me on here. I appreciate the support in the comments, and yeah, we'll just see. All the only thing I have now is I'm trying to decide where the channel goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know I still love YouTube. I fucking love doing YouTube. But at the moment, I'm fucking scared of putting videos out. Um,
But you just
so
now
it's
you're showing your wounds again, and the vultures are gonna
yeah,
come. You know that
yeah,
you
yeah.
just opened it up.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, fuck knows. I just need to get back on the I don't give a fuck vibe. Just crack on putting out content I want to put out and,
Yeah.
just let it grow organically like I did from the vegan perspective.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be a particular specific topic. I'm just going to just start talking shit and it will just organically grow into whatever it does. So we'll see what happens.
I like it, man. I dig it. I'm appreciative of you coming on.
Yeah.
It's to all the vegans out there. There's a lot of support out there for you if you do decide to start eating animal foods and it feels better. People like Jacko, people like Bobby's perspective, people like Drew Moore, people like myself. We're all here for you. We're on this channel. I can only speak for my own channel, but we're not against vegans. We see ourselves as running a vegan rescue operation. We're trying to help people out here, so we're not trying to, beat everybody up, and we're not about abuse of animals. We want the same thing you want. We want health. We want longevity for everybody, and we want also what's best for the animals. And we don't think that what's best for the animals is destroying all these farm animals, right? We think animal husbandry is actually what's best for feeding the planet, and that's why we push this. So, yeah, you can check out Jacko Wacko on. Did you take Vegano out of the name? Is it
I
gone?
did. I did. I'm just
Yes,
Jacko Wacko now.
I love it. Well, what made you know in the U.S. Michael Jackson is Jacko Wacko, right?
I know, I know. Yeah, I know. A lot of people say that. I mean, I adopted my name just from being a bit of a nutter, especially when I'm drunk,
Yeah.
and I just adopted the name from doing fucking mental shit, basically, and it stuck.
When I hear Jacko Wacko, I remember they used to have these tabloids and go to the grocery store and be like Star, the National Enquirer, and they'd have these crazy pictures of Michael Jackson. They'd have like a fucking alien and like Bigfoot. And they're
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
it.
Jacko Wacko got a new surgery, or look what Jacko Wacko did now. So I think the name's great, man. I think the channel's
Thank you.
great, and I enjoy the humor. I enjoy the rawness of it, and you got one of the best ex-vegan videos ever. I'd say you and Bobby
Thank you.
are a couple of the best ex-vegan come out videos that I've seen, and I
Cheers, brother.
appreciate it, man. So we're gonna end the broadcast. Everybody watching, you can find more at primaledgehealth.com. Make sure to share the video. Make sure to like the video. If you're interested in, we talked a little bit about the Keto and Carnivore Collective, the group coaching. We're doing that again in July. That's going to be really fun. We're sponsoring some ex-vegans. We've got 2 ex-vegans sponsored so far, but if you're interested in that, you can check out the coaching section of the website. There's a link in the description as well. And yeah, big shout out to Jacko Wacko. Check out his channel. Make sure to sub to him. Show him some love. And when he puts out a video, go do battle. Go do battle in the comment section over there. And battle for Jacko, because these vegans are going to try to come like vultures.
That's it.
All right.